Hi, everybody. I'm
Hi,
Carolyn, Mora, and this
and
is.
I'm Rich Mora.
We're here from Mora's Fine Wines and Spirits in East Setauket. It's Memorial Day weekend 2020, and we are here with our first virtual wine tasting. We welcome you, whether we know you or you're a new friend. It's all good. A few notes, we have decided to have virtual wine tastings in lieu of our usual Saturday wine
We
tastings we
really
have at
miss
the
them, and we
store.
know a lot of you do
We
too.
do. I really miss them. I miss all of my friends. So I figured we would just do this with some of our featured wines until we can get together again
We're
and to share.
still sending out emails with the wines that we would normally be tasting, actually nicer wines that we would normally be tasting.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we can't get together and taste them and kibitz about them and all that. So we're going to do all that for you. Anyway, hopefully it'll be fun and you might get something out of it.
And you'll get to see us kibitzing together, which you usually don't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
One decent thing about this whole COVID situation is that instead of 5 or 6 wines each week featured, we are now featuring 12 to 15 wines each week. Obviously, we couldn't taste that many, as anyone who knows me knows. So we're going to be tasting 3 of what we think are the best wines, and Rich will take it.
Yeah, the theme is in honor of American heroes, what we consider the heroes of American wine. Those classic wines that we all know and love that are uniquely American. So we're starting off with California Chardonnay. Walter Hansel, California Chardonnay. Great. These are all these are all artisanal producers, family-run wineries. Really the heart and soul of America. So we're starting off with a Walter Hansel Chardonnay from his Meadow Vineyard. Next wine is from Master Somm Larry Stone, the Lingua Franca Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. So Cali Chardonnay, one of the American heroes. Oregon Pinot Noir. I pressed something over here. Uh-oh. Photo booth? There we go. Oops. Oregon Pinot.
I'm leaving
That's
that part
become an
in
American
forever.
classic too. And of course, everybody loves good Napa Cab. It's unique, it's American, and Pride Mountain Vineyards is owned by a couple whose name is Pride, and Mountain Cab is classic, dense, dark, beautiful wine. So that's the last one we're going to pour.
Oh, I love you.
All right.
You're so cool. I want to say a little bit about Hansel when we get, as long as we're starting with that one, a little bit about the background, which I looked up as a former librarian. I sort of do this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. He has a very small operation there. First of all, when you go to his website, there's a little message that he's humbled by having you visit him, which I thought was kind of cute. Turns out he basically runs the winery himself. When they go out to harvest, he gets his vineyard manager and some of his vineyard manager's friends, and they all get in and they all get together and harvest the wine and help.
We're talking about Stephen Hansel, who's Walter Hansel's son.
Yeah. Yes.
Walter planted the first 250 vines, and Stephen took on from there.
Yeah.
And they have like 5 vineyard sites. Yeah. Everything they make is basically handmade by a handful of people.
Yeah, indeed. To put it in a little bit of perspective, too, Antonio Galloni has said that Hansel wines are the very epitome of Russian River Valley wines. And for those people who know about Russian River Valley, that's like a pretty high compliment. So, let's taste it.
Okay.
So, let's see.
So we're tasting the Walter Hansel 2017, the Meadow Vineyard Chardonnay. Of his 5 Chardonnays, this one is a dry farm spot adjacent to the Santa Rosa Creek. It's considered to produce like the fruitiest, most tropical fruit-driven wine. But we get a whole lot more than that from this.
Yeah. Now, when I'm swirling it, I have a glass donut on the tabletop here, and I'm swirling it like this fast to try to open it up a little bit. I don't like to swirl it like this because invariably the wine comes out and shoots all over me, which wastes some of the wine. We don't want to do that. Rich is also holding it against a white background to check the color and to check that little circle around the color to see how young the wine is. What I love about this is that it has a beautiful straw color. And it doesn't really look filtered, so I don't think they filter it.
So there is definitely a core of fruit, some citrus and tree fruit, but right up front, you get a lot of spicy baked apple, like a like a strudel. Definitely some flinty notes too, and some cream. To me, it's like, and then there's some citrus underneath it. I get like lemon meringue pie and apple strudel
You
come
stole
together.
that from me.
Oh well.
The flint is right up in the front, and it's really, really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
What I was talking about, the lemon meringue thing, and so I'm a sucker for white Burgundy, for really good white Burgundies, and also Viogniers. And a white Burgundy, the sign of a really good white Burgundy, which is basically a Chardonnay in Burgundy, is that you get the lovely meringue to it, that lovely lemon meringue. So when we were tasting this last night, which was our first tasting of it, it took maybe the second taste for it to come through, but once it came through, it didn't stop, and it does have that lemon meringue quality to it. And this, to put this in perspective, this is a $30 bottle of Chardonnay, and it's on special as part of our specials for $27.
Walter Hansel, he makes these great artisanal wines, but he believes in value and in, you know, really having sane pricing, which is not that common in California these days. Carolyn mentioned Burgundy. We happen to have this great Saint Romain Côte de Beaune Chardonnay to kind of compare, you know, the California style and the French style.
And thank you, Sean, for that. Thank you for the Saint Romain.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean from Verity. So both of these are 2017, both good vintages in their respective areas. Both are whole cluster pressed. They're both put right into oak fermenters. Hansel doesn't use a lot of new oak. He uses doesn't really tell you, but he uses a combination of new and used French, probably French barriques. Benjamin Leroux, Saint Romain, he's a fabulous producer, makes some great appellations. This is a Saint Romain, a real sleeper appellation, but he mainly goes into mostly used, tiny bit of new, large 300 liter and up barrels and foudre for his fermentation. So there's going to be a lot. The oak is going to be less pronounced, and of course the terroir is going to be completely different between the two. They both go through malolactic. I don't know if Leroux uses a full malolactic, but I've been told by a wine expert that they do some mallow. He definitely does full malolactic. And right off on the Leroux, I get more focus,
minerality, a lot
and
of
definitely more minerality, more of the limestone.
Leaner.
And
crisper,
you get some green
flavor.
apple, but it definitely tends more towards the lemon curd.
Yeah, it does. The thing I love about French wines is that they are so clean, so lean.
Yeah.
They have all that great limestone.
Yeah, the mouth feels very mouth-watering. The Hansel is very plush and generous, broad, really a mouthful of wine. This one is a little zingier, but it's also a beautiful one. It's also about twice the price. It's close to 50.
Yeah.
But that's white Burgundy for you. Okay.
Yeah. So do you have like a preference between the two of them, Rich? Considering that they're from opposite sides of the world, really, and the winemaking is probably a little different. Terroir, soil is everything.
I don't know. I mean, I love them for different reasons. Yeah, I'd say the Leroux is going to be a little more food friendly, more food versatile because of that acidity, that lively acidity. Yeah. But they both taste great with fried chicken.
We know because we had chicken wings last night. I am going to say, for my part, I prefer the Hansel a little bit because I love the story behind the winery, and also because of that sweet surprise of that lemon meringue that I got last night. I wasn't expecting it out of a California Chardonnay. I expect with my California Chardonnays a lot of butter, a lot of oak. You know, a little bit of sugar, but a lot of butter and oak. That was not the case in this instance. There was a little oak, of course, but not too much. And again, that meringue, it always catches me. So again, this is like only about $26. It might seem like a lot. We do have others that I'm going to go through later that are a little lower in price, but it's definitely worth it. It's an experience.
Drink up, huh?
Okay. I'll talk about our glasses if you can see them in a minute. These are our initial grand tasting glasses from our first one. I'll have a little to say about our next grand tasting.
Do you want to tell about the next winery?
Sure, Lingua Franca. Lingua Franca is a winery that was started by Larry Stone.
Mhm.
He
Is it Somme or Somme?
Somme. I think it's Somme. Our friend
I don't-
Jacqueline will tell us, I'm sure, but I think it's Somme. Anyway, Larry was in Napa where he had a house during an earthquake, and he looked at the devastation that his house became, and decided that if he ever did do a winery in Oregon, it would be one that was earthquake proof. He obviously he found a farm in 2010 where he started growing grapes. He started with white wine grapes. Actually, they do have a wonderful Chardonnay as well. And Dominique Lafont, which is the star of French Meursault, came by and looked at some of his grapes and was like, you know what, I think you should really try to do a little wine with this. So he brought on his protege, Thomas, I believe his name is Thomas, or Stephen, they have to go to the nurse, Thomas Savra. I'm not good at with my pronunciation. And he is now responsible for making their wines. As I said, they also have a Chardonnay, but this is, again, the Avenue Pinot Noir. They have great labels, and their wines, I love the personality because it is distinct. While they have a French winemaker, and they certainly follow a lot of French techniques in making their wine, you can tell it's not from France, it's from America. And there's something special about both this and the Chardonnay that you're not going to taste in
beautiful
other
and balanced
expressions of the varietals.
Definitely a good food wine. You know, it's got everything. Let's go through the tasting of this. So this is Willamette Valley. Avni also translates to stone, which is also Larry's name. But that's an important geological feature in the vineyards that this is sourced from. Rock, stone, volcanic soil. And it definitely comes through in the wine.
Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, a lot of soil.
Yeah.
I
mean, you get like black spice and black cherry, black raspberry right up front.
Mm-hmm. Great color, too.
But then the spice kicks in. I get a little clove, a little earthiness, stone dust. On the palate, though, it's just so balanced.
It is. It's beautifully constructed.
It's lively, but not disjointed. Everything just comes together. And it's got what I liked in the white Burgundy. It's got that mouth-watering feel. It's I guess it's got the underlying acidity it needs without being bitey or without being tart. Underripe Pinot Noir can be like kind of tart and nasty, but this
isn't tart at all. It's smooth.
No, it's not. It's mouth-watering, but smooth.
Smooth as sunshine.
Everything comes together.
It
and it's got a nice long finish, but it's so balanced.
You know, there's a little touch of beef there.
A little beefiness, yeah.
Not really on the back, and not all that much. You might notice I'm taking 2 sips of all of these. There's a reason. I firmly believe that one really can't taste a wine on the first sip. First sip is informed by so many other things: the air around you, the people around you, what you've had to eat or drink. So what I do is take the first sip and let it just go all over my mouth. And usually, as you see, I try to spit that one out. And then it's the second sip where I really try to experience the wine. So just a little side thing. This is good.
And someone told me a long time ago you should, especially on the first couple of wines you're tasting, you should go by your the first sniff and the second sip, because on the first sniff, your nose hasn't acclimated yet, and so you're really going to pick everything up. But on the other hand, wine is more acidic than your mouth is, so the first sip of the wine might taste a little sharp, and so by the second sip, your mouth is acclimated to it. But anyway, Louisa Hargrave.
And by the third sip, you're dropping it on your shirt.
Good thing we only have one more wine to go.
Well, it goes with my red, white, and blue theme there. Okay.
Little rinse.
Sure. Hey, so while we're in between wines, let me tell you a little bit about our grand tasting. If you don't know, we have grand tastings. We have for the past 4 years at Mora on the Wine Bar, which is across the street from us, and run by our great friend and brilliant soul, Jacqueline and Melinda. We were supposed to, first, that's our dog. We were supposed to have our spring tasting in April. That was postponed to June 13th for my birthday tasting, and we've decided to postpone it again, regardless of what the situation is with restaurants, which I don't think is going to change by June 13th, to October 24th. Failing October 24th, we have a spring date of March 20th. I'm reading my notes, March 20th, which is also the first day of spring for next year. So I have sent an email out to all our ticket holders. We do have some tickets available at this point, so if you want to get a ticket for grand tasting to have something to look forward to, it will be 75 wines, 15 reps, the great foods of Mataron, and about 48.88, is it, Rich?
Something like that.
Yeah. So you know
That's
what?
a little ways off.
Yeah, it is a little ways off, but we have the classes from our grand tasting, so just threw it into my mind.
Yeah.
Free associating, you know. I do our pub.
Okay. Do you have a napkin over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
What are these dishes?
Okay.
I would think it from here.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to tell them about the Pride or?
Okay, I know little about the Pride Winery. So Rich will tell you about the winery. I'll tell you about the wine.
Okay. So Pride Mountain. Mountain cabs, whether it's like Dunn or something from Spring Mountain, something from Howell Mountain, Carolyn's favorite wine, Mount Brave, or
Lacoya.
Yeah,
It's my favorite wine in the world.
Those high altitude vineyards get the cool nights, the sunshine, and they just make they grow that thick skin cab. It comes out really dense, really rich, really packed. So this is a small family-owned winery. The Pride family. They bought this mountaintop vineyard site. Their property straddles Napa and the Napa-Sonoma County line. Their wines are just beautiful, plush. Like you get a Dunn cab, Randy Dunn's cabs, and they're almost like never ready to drink. You got to age them 10 years, 15 years, and then these like the 2015 is drinking great. They're balanced, plush. The tannins are nice and resolved. I'm not going to get into the story, but after a long, successful career, they were going to just start a little vineyard, sell some grapes on the top of Pride Mountain, and they ended up creating a world-class winery.
Okay, great.
Do you know about the wine itself, or you can tell about the wine itself?
It's because their vineyards are in two counties in both Napa and Sonoma County. This one is from grapes 54% Napa County and 46% Sonoma County. It is almost completely Cab Sauvignon. I think there's a touch, let's say 6% Merlot, maybe 7% Pinot Verdot.
Petit Verdot.
Petit Verdot. Oh dear God. Petit Verdot. You should have known this part. And it's just really good. Last night was the first time I've ever tasted this. I'm not a Cab person. I'm a Pinot person or a Chardonnay person. But this is exquisite. It has none of the overdone
This is a fun tasting.
earthiness. Yeah, earthy. We do them all. Earthiness of some of the other Cabs. And really, it's so elegant. Immediately, you're hit by the plum in it. This brilliant plum. And then after a while, your second taste, it's like all of a sudden, it tastes like this kind of chocolate soil. And then these black cherries, and
I like your Black Forest cake.
It's like a Black Forest cake, and I mean that in all seriousness and with great compliment. I don't mean it to,
Yeah, because of the texture.
Oh, it's just so exquisite.
It's like eating cake.
It's wonderful. It's so soft. It's so full, but it's not cloying at all. It's not like, oh, look at me, I'm a sweet wine. It's not like that. It's exquisite. I mean, you're looking here at a $75 bottle of wine. No joke. It's not cheap, but I will.
If you feel like indulging in a nice, mountain cab from California.
If you're somebody, and again, on our featured wines, which I'll go through quickly later, we have them in every price range. But if you are in the market for a better cab, you're like Mount Brave, maybe like Camus or Silver Oak or something, and you've never tried Pride Mountain, you really have to try this wine. It's drinking absolutely beautifully. We did Coravin it last night, but it's every bit as good tonight as it was last night. So it's so good. It's really beautiful.
In my tasting notes, this has all that dark chocolate, black currant, lots of black fruit. Real complexity. You taste different things every time you sip it. Some cola, some balsamic, definitely some spice. Her description is very apt, like the topping on a Black Forest cake.
And the best Black Forest cake, really, in the world. Let me take a look at my notes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a little,
it was that, and
little
velvety.
cassis, little kirscht thing going on there.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
So
I love your descriptions. You're wonderful. You have all the right words and everything. Okay, so
I'll wrap it up. It's been 20 minutes.
We are going to wrap this up. Okay, it's 20 minutes. First of all, congrats to Rich to doing his very first virtual tasting. That's Jovi, our Havanese. We are obviously in the downstairs of our house.
She's been neglected for 20 minutes. This cannot stand.
Our 15-year-old grandpa poodle is over there on the couch. He's all buffered it in and everything. I want to briefly, though, very briefly go over the other ones that are featured. 4 shards. We have the Landmark Shard featured at $22.49. The True Shard featured at $24. Fisher at $24.29. The Cambria $15.99. Fisher $35.99, and the Hansel, of course, at $26.99, and I think it's great. And honestly, if you're looking at any of the less expensive ones, with the exception of the Cambria, I would just go to the Hansel, honestly. The Pinot, we have the Portlandia $17.99. We have the Lingua Franca $38.69. What a bargain. The Ayers at $26.99, and the Lemelson at $26.99. At my tastings at the store,
big winner, a big popular
I tend to do Lemelson,
and
it's always good, so it's always a good idea to get that. For the calves, we have the Hardened Cab at $26.99. The Sequoia Grove at $49.49.
Purlieu Vineyards, a really famous winery. Their La Piche it's pricey, but compared to their single vineyard cabs, it's $53.99.
We've had it in our wine
Groth
class,
Reserve.
Which I'll tell you about
we got an older vintage of Groth Reserve. I think it's a 14.
Yeah.
That's $107.99. That's up there a little bit.
The Pride, of course, is the $74.69, and to put it in perspective, again, we have a Stag Sleep at $72. So it's
so if you're used to drinking the Artemis, give this Pride a try.
Yeah. So hey, we did it.
We got through it. Not bad.
We hope you enjoyed this. We apologize for any mistakes. Really, we're doing this one time. No editing. I don't know how to do that.
Our teeth got purple.
Tech wizard. And our dog's here downstairs in our house with all the sounds and everything. We are so glad if you decided to join us. And if we know you from the store, we miss you so much. And we can't wait to see you. We hope everyone is doing well amidst this. Come on in.
We love seeing the people that have been, our customers have been coming in, and we miss the ones that can't make it for one reason or another.
If you're not coming in, please let us know what's going on with you if you can. And we are open as well. We do delivery. We deliver throughout the country where we're able to. And call ahead, curbside. We have curbside as well. If you come in, believe me, the store is safe, especially since now you can touch things. I know, I'll do the dinner thing, but you can touch things without fear of catching COVID. We have a huge gallon jug of New York State Clean walking in, so you'll be totally fine if you come in to say hi to us. So come in and say hi. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, bye-bye.
We'll probably try it again next week.
Oh, we will. I'm going to make them do it.